Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, folks. Michael Zuber, one rental at a time. It is the three amigos. It is that time. How you doing, Matt?
I'm doing super awesome. I'm really excited about this topic.
Yeah, this one was your idea, so thank you for that. And Dion, how are you?
Howdy, I'm doing great. I'm hoping that there's less Matt crying in this video than the video we made for his channel, but we'll see.
The first one yesterday? Yeah, exactly. So folks, what we're going to talk about here, we talk on this channel, this is a people business. You've heard me talk about your reputation matters. You've heard us talk about doing everything you can. Reputation matters in this business. And what people don't realize is one decision could put you on a list that I will never do business with you. We're going to talk about things that happen in the real world. I'm going to pull up a story from 2010 that I will not operate with the second best agent, or at least at the time, he was the number 2 agent in the entire county because of how he treated me. But Matt has an experience that happened very recently that was very similar. So buddy, what's going on?
Yeah, this last weekend. So if you haven't seen the video on my channel, it was basically short and sweet. Is looked at a property. I knew that it was, generally speaking, it was underpriced, but it was nothing that will go FHA or VA. It had a bunch of luggage with it. You know, it was somebody finally retiring and moving down to Florida. They owned the house for 30 years. They owned it outright. We gave them the options of seller finance. We gave them the options of an all cash deal. We gave them whatever. We said, we like the property. This fits our portfolio. We'd love to work something out with you. So I look at it. All that went very well. I said, listen, I know you're going to ask for proof of funds. And so I brought it up on my phone and I showed her proof of funds. I said, that way you're seeing it directly. My name attached to it. Here you go. And that way you can tell the seller, I saw proof of funds. So, and it was just, again, so I thought, I left that having a, pretty good rapport, I thought. And then she calls my agent, says, hey, I know you guys are working on an offer because Matt said you were working on an offer. The house was listed at only 240K. And she said, I think you guys should come in at 200.
Wow. Okay.
And I was like, why would you do that? And I think it's because when I was there, I said, what was your pricing strategy? I always ask that question. What was your pricing strategy? And she said, well, pricing strategy was, that's what he wanted to get. I thought that number was too high, but he's the client. So that's what we listed it for. I said, okay. So I take all of that. I mean, we're always asking them, give me the top 3 things that are most important to you. She said, no inspections. She said, large deposit, basically. So I wouldn't get out of the deal essentially. And then, making sure that you're at 200, at least 200. Said, okay, sounds good. Wrote the letter, wrote the offer, sent it all over, blah, blah, blah. They come back and say, yep, we'd like a bigger deposit. I said, okay. So we went from 10 to 20. Fine. They came back and said, not only do we want the bigger deposit, but we also want gap on the appraisal. Sure, fine. I gave them 10% gap on the appraisal because I know the market well enough. There's no way that thing's coming in at 180. It's going to come in at 220, 240 all day long. Okay. Gave them exactly what they asked for. She's like, okay, well, it's Father's Day today, so I'll touch base with them tomorrow. So touch base with them tomorrow. She's like, yep, I'm just trying to get some time sitting in front of them. We're like, okay, feel like this is dragging on a little bit, but that's fine. We've done a bunch of back and forth already, so no big deal. Tuesday, my agent calls, no answer, leaves a message, said, hey, just looking for an update, please call us back. She sends an email 9, 10 o'clock at night saying, we've chosen a cash offer. Thanks for your interest. That's it.
Wow.
Yeah. So, I mean, again,
wait, that's the first time I heard that. Did you say they chose a cash offer or another offer?
Nope, they chose it. So she said they chose a cash offer, which was what we had offered in the beginning. But then she said, it doesn't really matter where the money comes from, essentially. Like it's bank, because he also didn't want to close in 30 days. He wanted to close the end of September. That way he had enough time to get everything out. So we were totally agreeable to those terms. We're like, yeah, sure. We don't need to rush him out. And if you leave some stuff, we even tell people, if you leave some stuff behind, we'll budget for a dumpster. We won't put the dumpster there when you're there because we want to know what's going in it. Chemicals, things like that, not allowed. So we did that, but there was no counter. There was no best and final. There was no reach back out, even though we'd negotiated for 4 days in good faith. And so, yeah, the only reason that you would immediately take somebody else's offer, my belief, is that the only reason you would take somebody else's offer and not offer any level of best and final and really doing your fiduciary responsibility for your client, your seller, is because you had both sides of the deal.
Exactly.
Thank you. That's it. That's the only thing. Because she still hasn't called back since.
No, somebody called her, another investor in town.
Correct.
Said, I'll give you both sides.
Yep.
And suddenly that offer jumped to the top. They're the best. They're the best on the market. Exactly what happened. I would have told you that before you said it.
100%. Exactly.
She got both sides.
100%.
So why didn't you give her both sides?
Why didn't I give her both sides?
Yeah.
My agent.
Oh, but hold on. Did your agent bring it to you?
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
Okay.
He brought it to, he sent it over to me. He's like, hey, I know this isn't really your book, but yeah.
Yeah. Dance with who brought you. Yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah. All right, devil.
Okay. I was going to ask if you saw the name today. I like you, Matt. I don't want you to feel like this is an attack. Ready? Okay. Quit ya bitching. Like, that's crazy. That's how every single deal I've ever done has gone. I've never heard back from agents. I've seen deals go where they've said, oh, we pretty much accept your offer. Like, we've gotten an email back, we've accepted your offer, but they haven't sent back the official, we've accepted it. And then it goes to someone else and I never hear a detail about it. Like, every single deal has gone that way. No communication. So in your area, it sounds like you have some great agents and you have a decade's worth of experience with people who do their job and communicate very well. And now you're getting a taste of what it's like in Washington
for everybody else
all the time.
F that noise.
Right. It sucks. You just like, I made an offer. They countered. I countered better than their countered. Like, I focus. I now know what matters to them. So I offered what they want. Don't hear anything ever.
So it's one of those things where for me, it's been doing it this way for over a decade with our basically ask the seller what they want type of thing. So we've been taking that approach, that strategy for over a decade. And there are 3 agents that have done this to us. 3. So they're all on the list. And that's fine. I'll never do another deal with her.
Yeah. So I have an experience, but it was actually on the other side. So I forget when this was. It must have been 13 or 14. I was selling one of my apartment buildings. And the second biggest agent in town who I always wanted to meet. Right. So I'm like a third the size we are now. So I'm probably on his radar somewhere, but I'm dealing with his minions, right? This guy's got an army of agents that work for him. I've never spoken to him. I think I've been on email with him once before. I want to get to this guy. Right. And so I'm selling this apartment. It might've been a 4-plex actually. Anyways, I'm selling this building and his offer his client is the second highest, but not by much. I pick his offer because it's him.
Yeah. And
I tell him this. And, I say, this is important. It's got to close. I'm picking you and you're not the best. He sings up and down about his buyer. I've done many deals with them, this, that, the other. Long story short, you get the escrow gets extended twice, not once, twice, because of this or that reason. Ultimately, his buyer disappears. We never hear what's going on. This buyer that he put his personal reputation on. Again, second best producer. He's still a big producer. I will not look at anything his team does, him or his team does, because I consider he lied to me multiple times. I will not deal with liars. I don't care if it's a deal of the decade. If it's his office, I won't write the offer. If it's his offer that comes in, it's automatically declined. Not him, not his agents. You lie to me, I don't care if you're an agent, a broker, a lender, a buyer, 0. You're off the list. And this isn't one lie. This was a escrow that went to 115 days before I closed it because I believed this SOB. Yeah. So yeah, you want to get on my list? He's still there. He's got to be close to retirement now. But yeah, I won't. If it's his name next to it, won't look. He sends me an offer, it goes right in the trash can. Doesn't matter. You're a liar. You're always a liar to me.
There's 2 ways to look at this. When it comes to our reputation, this is a very finite world. Yeah. There are only so many people that we deal with. And if our reputation gets bad, we could lose out on deals. So that's the way to look at it for our reputation. When it comes to everyone else's reputation, your agent, your lender, any property management in your area, this is infinite. You can replace them with someone else at the drop of a hat, which is why our reputation is finite, because we can be replaced at the drop of a hat. So it's really important to do things like stand by what you say, have a good reason when you have to change what you said and explain it with transparency. One of the examples I used is I always work with at least 3 real estate agents. They'll have auto searches set up. I show them, here's the property you sent me. This is when I got your email. 3 days sooner, this is when the other agent sent me the email with that property. So if your searches are more dialed in and come in quicker, you'll get the deal next time. And they go, all right, cool. That's fair. That's what we agreed to. So protect that reputation. And like Matt, have a list.
Yeah.
Mine's a list right here. It says Matt.
Yeah. I mean, again, at the end of the day, for me, it's okay. Lesson learned. I'm not going to change the way I do business because we do it with honor and integrity. And because I have honor and integrity, I count on the other people I work with to have honor and integrity. And when they prove to me that they don't, I don't need to learn the lesson the second time.
No, not twice.
Yeah. Once your fault, twice my fault.
Well, here's a question for you, because this deal's not closed yet. So let's fast forward 10 days and this all cash offer suddenly isn't all cash, or they want them out sooner, or they want a repair list, or whatever nonsense comes up, because we both know, or all 3 of us know, that all cash offers aren't really all cash offers all the time. Let's assume this deal blows up and you get the proverbial email or phone call, or your agent does, and says, hey, what about that price point? What do you do?
Honestly?
Yeah, of course.
Okay. I'd probably drive over there. I'd talk to the owner and say, if you fire your agent, I'll give you full ask.
Okay. So I want to be clear. You're not doing this deal at any price with that agent.
With that agent? No. Nope. She's a liar.
I did not expect you to say that.
And Matt, since you're not an agent now, you should just drive over and talk to the owner now.
That's honestly
nothing stopping you.
That's exactly what's happening. I'm going to drive over there. I'm going to meet him there. And I'm going to say, I just wanted to make sure you knew that we put our best foot forward and we only followed the guidance of your agent. If you would like to still do a deal with me, I would love to do it. And I'm happy to write you a check. Yeah, I'll take her out at the knees because she's garbage. She lied and she didn't represent. This is the perspective. The perspective for me is this guy is retiring. This is his last chance at decent money.
An extra 5 or 10 grand makes a difference.
Makes a huge difference for him.
The fact that she's getting 6% versus 3%.
And we only went in there at 200 because she told us to. We had talked about the full price offer because I said, I'm comfortable with that number. It just really comes down to what he would like terms to be.
Yeah.
If you'd like the annuity, I'm fine with that. I mean, so I will do a deal with him if he fires his agent, and I will be more than happy to do a FISBO with him where my guy gets his points. I'll even pay my guy's points.
Yeah.
And she gets nothing. I want to make sure she gets nothing, because when you lie, you disqualify yourself from what you believe.
All future business. Yes.
Bye-bye.
So I take a little bit back, Matt, earlier when I was saying, quit your bitch. And that was when I thought you were just going to bitch. If you're going to take action that equals vengeance, I'm on board.
Sure.
Action that equals vengeance.
So is Millennial Mike. Yeah. Like I am so on board. Like I am ready to show that guy, hey, here's my bank account. Here's my deposits. This is everything that I showed her. Yeah. Everything. And she told us come in at 200. She didn't do the right thing by you. And the thing is I literally thought that she had talked to her guy and said, my price was right. Your price was wrong. We're not getting any of the offers. So the first thing that we get for 200, we should take. I thought she was coaching him like that because that was in his best interest. Now that I know that it went the way it did, I know she shopped my offer. I know she got the other half, and I know she got more, but she didn't get most. And that's her fault. And I have no problem with that being attached to her name forever.
Well, this would be fun to follow up in about a week. So let's do that. Dion, where can people find you?
Right here on YouTube, Dion Talk Financial Freedom.
And Matt?
Lumberjack Landlord on YouTube and also on Instagram and live streams on Sundays. And P.S. This is not the first time I've done this.
There you go.